it is interesting that Barack Obama, when he was in office, he nominated 2 white women for Supreme Court, and he didn't nominate any black people. And then Biden, he makes a point to say that he's going to nominate a black woman, but why not men?
Yeah.
Why is it that black women always seem to come before their men? It's almost like they're trying to delete black men and put them in their feelings all the time and make black women the aggressors.
So, not even to mention that black men are moving to the other side.
Yeah.
Black men and
black women are more, I guess, between the two are more loyal to the party.
They are. Okay, hi guys, we're back. We're going to read a email we got. Alright, she says, I used to watch your Freestyle Friday videos. I haven't been on YouTube much, but I've seen some of your recent content. I'm not going to lie, when I saw you two talking about being more conservative politically, I was ready to unsubscribe, laugh out loud. But I have started to see things different these days, especially with Biden. I said all that to say this, we as black people have to wake up and catch up politically. Nice to see your channel growing. Keep it up, Marlene. Alright, so thank you, Marlene. Yeah, thanks, Marlene. I appreciate the, that's not even a question. But I'm happy. See, I get happy when black people, particularly black women, kind of see what other, like, conservative people are saying. You know? So when we did that video that there's a video we did where someone asked us about our political standings. We talked about political stuff every now and then. But I think this person wasn't sure what we were, what party we were with, or if we're with a party at all. So when we talked about that in that political video, we were well aware that we were probably going to lose subscribers. Thank you for not unsubscribing, by the way. But we were, you know, prepared to probably lose subscribers because I would say pretty much almost all of our audience is black and Democrat. As well as people that we know in our own personal lives or just acquaintances that we know. So Kara and I are not, we will be the minority in the majority. in the majority in our world. So we knew that was going to happen, and then it did. People unsubscribed, so it's been kind of like fluctuating a bit. But I think that it's important to not like water down your thoughts on things. When people ask you a question, and they ask us a direct question, you know, what are your political thoughts? We feel it's important to tell, like, the truth of what we have grown to understand. Like you, Marlene, I too, and Kara as well, I was liberal or Democrat. What was I? I would say I'm even more of the progressive end of things. And the reason why that was, honestly, is because of, in a way, tradition. Black people are normally Democrat. Most black people, when you're growing up, you know, when you hear about black conservatives or Republicans, the first thing people think is a sellout or a coon. You get all the names happen, right? Black people have a hard time with seeing things differently. You know, I think it's uncomfortable for a lot of black people to hear people think a different way and have an independent thought outside of what is normal for them. So we are critical thinkers. We agree everything that conservatives say. I don't think you can agree with everything everyone says anyways, first of all, but I think that for the vast majority of stuff, yes, the values is what I'm looking at. And you mentioned Biden. That is a hot mess. So clearly you even see that, and you vote. I talked to this person, so she voted for Biden, and I just think that it's hard, you know, as a black person to switch, you know, and just listen to another, you know, another party, you know, like that guy you were watching.
He does reaction videos,
right? And he's a black man, but he's listening to Republican and conservative mindsets, and I don't even think he is one yet.
He doesn't like politics.
He doesn't like politics,
but
right.
You know, he's black, so he mostly listens to liberal views because he's black.
But when he started
then he started listening to other things like Thomas Sowell, Walter Williams, Candace Owens, Dave Rubin, Ben Shapiro, just a lot of different
some people think
Steven
differently.
Crowder,
yeah.
And just to listen to their points of view, and then people, he's not even saying he is, or he's just listening to them, and he said, I'm already getting people in my inbox calling me a sellout, and that is what happens.
That's what happens.
What I mean, when you are a black person that thinks freely.
Yeah.
I've always said the Democratic Party is it's like a plantation.
It is,
and to me, it's almost like a
cult.
Because black people flock to that party and when I heard Maxine Waters singing "We Shall Overcome," I'm thinking, honey, if we are still singing that song in 2022, at that time it's 2021, then this party isn't doing anything for black people.
Right.
We've been voting straight blue ticket for 60,
decades.
70 years.
Decades.
And we are still saying things. Barack Obama was just a prop. And he did more for the gay community than he did for anybody else. Here goes Joe Biden, and this is what they do. They just pander. They pander to us. And I really just got tired of the pandering.
Me too.
I get tired of, first of all, I don't feel like a victim. So the idea that I'm supposed to be some victim because I'm black and I'm a woman is just a joke.
We have this thing where we have to be a victim. The system's got us down. Look, you're not, Marley, I was saying everything that you were thinking before. Like, I was just the exact same way. Where I was like, oh, the systematic racism, and and they're out to get us. And, like, it was just that. And let me tell you, ignorantly, why was I saying that? What am I talking about? I had none of those experiences whatsoever. And I'm like, why? I'm just going with what they're saying, which is what you do when you are, like, going with that kind of democratic mindset. You just kind of go with what you hear. That's what I've been hearing, so I guess that's what's been happening. It's like you don't feel comfortable thinking on your own. And I've always, because I was telling Kira this the other day that, like, I always think it's fascinating. So I watch a lot of documentaries on cults, right? And I'm always very interested in, like, the mind, what happens to the people. Like, why are they, how could they've gotten so engulfed in this ideology, this kind of this guy, this man, this woman, how could they just follow that and just not think at all that it could be, something's wrong here, like why, how does that happen? I've looked at all of them and I'm like, so I wasn't much different then, right? Because a lot of these people, when they get out of the cult, they talk about, they do like interviews of like why they were in the cult and how that happened, and they're like, just searching for a place. I'm just searching for, at the time, I was searching for this and that and the other. Now, we do know that, they're following, like, one leader, and that, I understand that, but it really wasn't any different than me with the Democratic stuff. Because I was really just brainwashed into just, this is the way it's supposed to be. You don't think differently than this, and then when you do think differently than this, then there's a possibility that people are going to start falling off. And then we experience that, right? So when we start thinking differently and then saying things that we believe that are true, factually true, by the way, not just what we just think in our heads, I think that it made us really, like, the truthfulness of it. I don't know if a lot of black people just feel uncomfortable with that truth. Because when you hear numbers, when you hear certain numbers on, black on black crime or, police brutality, you hear these numbers and it's like not going in a direction that you're thinking that you were raised with. It's like, what? Like, that's not right, but then it is, and you're like, oh, so then I can't use that.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, with Trump, the funny thing about Trump is he did prison reform. Got a lot of people, that had been in prison too long for their crimes. He got them out. Barack Obama didn't do that. You know what I mean? Black unemployment went down a lot. Black businesses started to, because he took away a lot of red tape. So that black people could start owning businesses again. Biden took down all of that as soon as he got into office. Barack Obama didn't do that. I was watching Cornel West talk to Candace Owens and the guy that we were just talking about, the guy that has the reaction videos.
Oh, okay.
And it's so interesting to me how black people think. Because here are two men talking and in two different shows, and every time that comes up, the things I just said about Trump, they don't know how to explain that.
Yeah,
like so.
I know.
He'll say the guy from the reaction video. He said, when he heard Candace Owens saying that, he goes, "Is that true?" And he was like, "Yeah, it is true." And then he went on to say, Cornel West goes on to say, "Yeah, I know that I thank him for doing that, but his rhetoric is so bad." Okay, so. Yeah, and then he goes, Barack Obama's rhetoric. Yeah, Barack Obama's rhetoric was good. Yeah. But Barack Obama did nothing. Ferguson, Sandra Bland, all that happened under Obama. So he can say all he wants. He didn't do anything.
Right.
He didn't do anything about the neighborhoods, the crime, the black on black crime. He didn't do anything to do that. He just said something. And to see, that's the problem. That's my problem with Black America and politics is that we just have to be pandered to.
That's it.
And they know that. They know that they can just tug on some feelings a little bit, and black people will pull the lever for them every single time. And that's the exact same thing he's doing when he announced that I don't know who I'm going to pick for Supreme Court, but I know this is going to be a black woman. He's doing it again, and he did it.
And he did it.
She's had a horrible.
Yeah, the Honorable was it Jackson?
Ketanji
Jackson.
Brown Jackson.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and the stuff on the the pedophile stuff that she did. I mean, to me, it's just like no one's looking.
Well, also people are saying that the questions that the confirmation hearing, but they're saying the questions that she was given were just dumb and stupid, and no one's been treated this way, and blah blah blah. I'm thinking she's not answering, guys. She's not answering basic questions.
She's not answering anything.
Answer. What do you think of the one? What is a woman? And she didn't.
I don't know.
She didn't want to answer that. Now she didn't want to answer that. People are like, "Oh, she didn't want to answer because that's a stupid question." No, she didn't want to answer that because it's going to offend the very people that are being pandered to. So all these people out here who are talking about, what's a cisgender and all this, this new pronoun people are going to get mad. So she knew that those pronoun people were going to get mad. So she said nothing.
Someone being put in the Supreme Court is much more powerful than someone becoming president.
It is, yes.
Because that's a lifetime job.
Yeah.
You don't ever leave.
Right. That's it.
It's a job that you don't get voted in or out.
No,
this is when she gets in, she's in. She can be there till she's dead.
Yeah.
That's it. And if a woman can't answer specific questions, and the only reason she knows what a woman is, she's birthed 2 children.
Yeah.
She's getting nominated based on the fact that she is a woman.
Right.
And she can't answer the question.
Yeah.
And the reason why that's annoying is because she's acting like a politician and not a judge.
Yeah.
And that's what bothers me about her going into the Supreme Court. But I can tell you, even with the light sentences on pedophiles that she's given, I can tell you there are going to be so many black people, just like Cory Booker, acting just like Cory Booker, about her. They don't care about what she does.
No.
They just care that she's black.
Yeah.
And they're going to defend her. Christian black people are going to defend everything because they want to see her off simply because she's black. That's how Barack Obama got in. That's the reason why they like black politicians on the liberal stage. It's because they know that if they have black people, white women, gay people, that all they have to do is tug on some feelings. And it works.
Well, black people typically don't ask questions like that, like in the general sense. A lot of black people don't ask questions like that. We also, black people we don't inform ourselves with things because politically, we are not well informed politically either. So what happens is that that's how you get the go with the flow mentality. But we won't even shut down a argument that maybe even a Republican would have. And the reason why we don't normally shut them down with what they're saying is because it can't be shut down because what they're saying is factually right, number one. And number two, we haven't done our research to even be able to debate the people. Right. So we don't do a lot of asking of questions. So this was, I think earlier in our show, we talked about we've talked about political stuff here and there. And I was a Bernie Sanders person.
Yeah.
Look, I thought Bernie Sanders, so Bernie Sanders, to me, what he did was he was different than the party he was running with, like he was part of. So he was an independent, but in order to run for president, he had to pick something. So it was obviously going to be Democrat, so he did that. Now, because of that, he wanted a political revolution is what he was wanting, right? And so his ideas are far different than his original ideas are far different than from the Democratic Party. They go one way. Once you get into the Democratic Party, you don't change it, they change you.
Right.
So he found that out, right? So he was trying to do this whole political revolution. I think it was very beneficial because in order for him to do that, he had to expose a lot of stuff within the Democratic Party. And that did not make them happy.
Yeah.
That did not so as you see, Bernie Sanders joined you don't change it, they change you. So now he's just part of it now. The only reason why I started even looking at the Republican stuff is because I was seeing, well, I won't say I was seeing, but I was briefly talking to a man who we were gonna date, but we ended up not dating. Now he's a Republican. He's a black Republican, and I was a Democrat at the time, and we would have all these like deep conversations, which I love, right? But it would always become kind of argumentative or kind of combative because he was trying to explain to me some stuff about these conservative way, and I just really honestly was not trying to hear it. Now I'm basing my not trying to hear it off of zero facts. I'm just saying I'm not trying to hear it because I'm black and you're supposed to be a Democrat. How are you a Republican and you're a black man? You know, like that. And he just like, you're not listening to what I'm saying. But and through conversation, I guess to him, I would be saying things, just through regular conversation, that sound conservative. And I didn't know I was doing that. So he said to me, he said, you are a conservative, you just don't know. And he said that to me a few times and I just never really understood. Like, I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, what are you saying? I'm not. He said, you are. Most black people are. They just don't know because they're not doing the research. And then fast forward to now, he was right. You know what I mean? Like, he was right. I am my let's call it my values are conservative. I
feel like they probably always have been. I think I always pick presidents based not on me, but how I felt the majority of the world or the nation would what they needed. You know what I mean? And I realize that's wrong. You have to vote on your own values. You know what I mean? And not the values of someone else. That's how you pick a president. And I actually think that Trump losing was the best thing that happened for the Republican Party, to be quite honest. Because Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have completely destroyed this country in less than, he still has a few years to go. You know what I mean? And so much damage has happened, you know, since both of them, and their approval ratings, his just went down again because of these gas prices.
She just lost another staff member. Her staff is leaving her.
Yeah, like the Don't Say Gay bill. Ron DeSantis, you know, is trying to get a bill passed, and they're walking every Democrat walking around saying first of all, it's not called the Don't Say Gay.
What is it called again?
It's called First of all, it's not called the Don't Say Gay bill. They're just saying that. But all it's saying is that he doesn't want kids from K to third grade, and teachers talking about sexuality. Or sex,
if I had children, I wouldn't want that.
We need to leave that to their parents, and that is correct.
That's correct.
I don't even want to hear it. Like I was telling Danielle the other day, we had a gay teacher in our choir. Our choir teacher was gay, but it was never really confirmed. You know why? Because he doesn't talk about his sexuality at school when we were in high school. Right. They trying to talk to little kids.
If I was a parent, I wouldn't want that. Yeah. And also, Kara and I read the bill. We read the bill. The whole bill. And within the bill, every point they were making is correct.
So you have all these gay people doing TikToks.
It's logical.
Yeah, all these gay people are doing TikToks and showing their rainbow stuff, saying gay, 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 because they're trying to say, because they say don't say gay, they're all saying it. And I'm like, that isn't what the bill is about. That's not even what the bill is called. Yeah. It's to protect children.
This is what happens. People twist it up. Oh, you're against gay. No, don't try it. Don't see this. They try to do that, where they try to switch it up. No, I'm not against gay at all. Like I'm an advocate for human rights.
I felt that way when Snoop Dogg was on Sesame Street a long time ago. I thought, why, you know, and that's back when I was a Snoop Dogg fan. I was younger. Yeah. You know what I mean? But even then, I thought, what is he doing on Sesame Street? Yeah. You know, Cardi B making baby dolls. It's like what? For little dolls for little girls. You know, what's the name? Little Nas X making children's books. See, these people need to stay out of the realm of children. But you don't understand, like, this is what I'm saying. I feel like it's been this sort of weird liberal thing to get kids in with sexuality. Also. I've always felt not even gay sex, just sexuality in general.
Like I always felt that was about just releasing, like dropping the veil, so kids can be more comfortable with seeing these images and these things, these videos. Now they put on mainstream with you remember the Cardi B and the Meg Thee Stallion simulating sex on regular TV, not cable, just regular TV. Like this is trying to desensitize children.
Yeah, they had I was watching
excuse me.
the Daily Wire the other day. I think his name is something Cliven. And he was talking about, he said, the feminist movement, though, had been in the works for many, many, many years. He's like, if so, a long time ago, they've been trying to get mothers to go to work because they felt that if women went to work, because women were the protector of children, they said if they could get women out of the house, the kids would be more vulnerable. So they'd have to go to school, and if they went to public school, it would be the government teaching their kids, and then when they come home and there's no one home, then the TV or the radio at that time, the TV would then program your children.
The idea is to get them alone.
And that, to me, makes a lot of sense.
Well, again, creepy.
Because now most kids come home to nobody. A public school is a government building, so it should have cameras, but for some reason I won't put cameras in that. No. In a school. I don't get that. You know what I mean? But they want to teach your kids all this stuff without your knowledge. Yeah. In a way, they're trying to make it look like they're protecting the kids from their parents. So if there's like a kid that's queer or gay or something, they feel like the parents can't handle it, so they're going to protect the kid by not telling the parent. And that's something's wrong with that. Suspect. Yeah. Teaching kids not to speak to their parents is like sort of making kids even more vulnerable, so they can get used to keeping secrets and doing things they're not supposed to be doing. You know what I mean?
Now, and also, like, I want to say that it's not even necessary, because I don't. Okay, so politicians. This is not even about politicians. Okay, so we all know politicians are on both sides. I don't care what party they're with. Politicians will always be politicians. So this is less about them and more about just your ideas, you know, and what fits better with your what fits better with your ideas.
Yeah, you're supposed to speak your values, because politicians are kind of shit on both sides. Right. But you're supposed to be able to, because they'll go wherever the wind blows. Right. Them. So you have to be able to be a strong enough base to pull them your way. So if they think that, you know, you don't want certain things in your school, you don't want certain things in your neighborhood, then they'll go with that. You know what I mean? Because they want votes. So crazy how everything, you know, it's just like, and you know what's funny is that when the party, when it starts, when the election starts again, we'll mostly vote Democrat. Yeah. It won't matter who they
It won't matter. I mean, I'm happy that the girl who wrote it, the woman who wrote this, Marlene, I'm glad that, I'm glad that you're seeing it, because black people, man, I really hate saying this, but I'm going to say it because I don't want to censor myself, but black men are coming along faster. Yeah. The last people who are going to start to see the light or see the realness of the situation is going to be black women. Most black women are going to stay stuck in that. It's just, I mean, I hate saying that. I mean, like, I'm glad to see that you are like, wait, you're questioning some things. But the truth is that a lot of black women are not going to go that direction.
I was watching this, God, I wish I could find this guy's video. I'll show you, but he has this black woman that's on there. God, I wish I could remember. I just watched it last night. And she has these braids. I can't remember her name. Anyway, but she was saying that, she said white liberal women are like the devil, because they pull black people into this sort of, you know, they're the ones that are pulling a lot of black people and make.
Well, even feminist movement.
But she said, but I hate saying this. She said, but black women are going to be the death of us. You know, because I think it is interesting that Barack Obama, when he was in office, he nominated 2 white women for Supreme Court, and he didn't nominate any black people. And then Biden, he makes a point to say that he's going to nominate a black woman, but why not men? Yeah. Why is it that black women always seem to come before their men? It's almost like they're trying to delete black men and put them in their feelings all the time and make black women the aggressors.
And not even to mention that black men are moving to the other side. Yeah. Black men and
black women are more, I guess, between the two, are more loyal to the party. They are. But the truth is, it's just like the Supreme Court is much more powerful than what Barack Obama had. Yeah. Because he can only do it for 8 years. She can do it forever. Yeah. And I just find it just interesting that he would do that. And I always feel like that's what it is with black women. We always get put in front of our men. They get put behind us. Yeah. They're always forcing black women ahead. I mean, remember we were watching that show Good Times? And this was back when affirmative action really was, I would say, starting. And what's his name? The John Amos character? He's named after
James.
James. Okay, an episode where James is they're always going through job things. He's always working at the car wash somewhere. So he gets this job that he goes for an interview at a job that he really, really wants. And he's trying to get this job that he really, really wants, and they interview his wife.
Right.
And they hire her over her husband.
Yeah.
And you could tell, like, that is the way they want black families to
be. They were always trying to move black women away from black men.
Yeah, and they've always been trying to put black women in front. And this is another reason why
that was in the 70s.
That was in the 70s. And so this is the reason why I have a problem with the party as well.
Yeah.
It's because I don't think that black women need to be the leaders.
Yeah.
I think it's hurt us a lot. It's kept a lot of us single.
Well,
it's started a lot of divorces. It's created a lot of single moms. And I think that we just eat this up. And black men, they just...
Which is why a lot of them are conservative now. Because black men are welcomed.
I mean,
really, as leaders, they're welcomed over there.
And Brandon Tatum made a good point too the other day. He was saying all of these black people in this party, they always want to bring up racial division, and all the black people that are talking about this are all because the Kamala Harris is married to a white person.
Yeah.
You know, what's her name? The Supreme Court nominee is married to a white man.
Right.
And they just went on and on with all these different people. I think it was an AOC. Is dating with a white man. The guy, the mayor, Lightfoot, the lesbian lady in Chicago, the mayor, she's married to a white woman. Bellasio's married to a black one. So they're saying these people always talk about racial equality, and he's like, and Brandon's like, and I'm okay with it because my wife is white. Right. But what I'm saying is, why do they bring up this stuff when they're sitting right next to the enemy that they call the enemy? And I'm like, exactly, I don't get that.
So you know that it's all just
the depression just stopped with you guys, but it isn't with.
But you know it's all a farce if that's happening, that they're just talking pieces.
Yeah.
I really don't know, honestly, how anybody could be a Democrat.
At this point,
I don't get it. But
unless you're like 25 where you don't know any better and you just leave.
But I definitely don't get why any black person would be one. That part is puzzling to me for what we know now.
Right.
But if you're only looking at mainstream media, then you're because I was that. So if I'm only looking at CNN, MSNBC, and then circulate, I'm only looking at what they're saying, which is only a couple of talking points. So I don't ever get the other side. It wasn't until I decided to at least listen to the other side is when, I started to take in some new information that made more sense to me. But a lot of times women in general, we have a problem with talking too much. And we don't listen all the time. So I feel like once you sometimes you have to shut up for a minute and just listen and take in what's going on and not be so against what you're hearing. Because even if you're hearing something that you're thinking, that don't sound right, do the research. They're not telling you to do your own research, definitely, which is what I did. I didn't just say, Republicans and conservatives are making so much sense now, I'm going to go over there.
No, conservatives have their issues too.
Yeah.
My point is that I'm not even mad that black people vote Democrat. It's just alarming when you step out.
I know.
When you look at how mesmerized so many black people are when they vote. Like, they just don't even get anything for your vote.
You get nothing.
You get nothing for your vote but a bunch of pandering. I mean, Hillary Clinton saying she puts hot sauce in her bag. I mean, that
did it for
Joe Biden putting his iPhone up to Spanish people and playing salsa music on stage. It's just like these people. It's Hillary Clinton going to the South and acting like she's Southern all of a sudden. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's just like this woman. These people just pander and they can't stop doing it.
And we're so used to that. See, that we don't go to look at things. We don't do our own research like that. So a lot of many do, but I'm just saying that majority of black people don't.
And the funny thing was that black people voted Republican for years until what, after World War II?
Yes.
World War II, they mostly voted. They were and Republicans were the first to put black people in office.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Democrats were the party of slavery. They were the party of Jim Crow. They were the party of the Klan. They were, and really, when you think about it, not much has changed. Still, being dictators.
So the process of
not even for our country, for other countries too. Like, we're over there trying to give people our type of democracy, telling people how they need to live. Like, get out of people's. They don't have to live like us.
Right.
Let them have their nation, and we do business with other nations, but it's like we always seem like we're in other countries trying to make them like
stop.
ours. Like,
we're still trying to figure out what we're doing. But even in the process of unlearning and relearning a lot of things, like some of the stuff is really kind of shocking.
It is. And it's hard to hear. That guy that we were talking about.
That does a reaction.
The reaction video. If we can find his name, we will.
Yeah.
I keep counting this guy.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think I was going to talk about him.
Yeah.
But he was
I thought it was interesting because you showed it to me.
Yeah, because he said, there was one part where he just simply said, some of this stuff is just hard. It was about the black on black crime. Listen to Larry Elder talk to Dave Rubin. And Dave Rubin is a libertarian, I think, but he was a liberal, and he tells everyone that really Larry Elder was the one who brought him to.
Right.
He's also gay, so Larry Elder was the one that brought him to the conservative side, and he said. Because he was talking about black on black crime, and he had his facts messed up, and Larry Elder helped him with that. And the guy that was doing the reaction video on that, he was like, it's really hard for me to hear this. Because I've just been told my whole life that, but Larry Elder is full of facts. That's all he speaks is facts. So he just gives it to you with no emotion. It's just what it is. Just like, it's hard for me to hear this because I want to be mad at him, but if he's giving me facts, I can't be.
Yeah. But this is
that's true.
That's what happens though when you're trying to find out some new information, unlearning and relearning, or just hearing someone else out. It is kind of like this.
When I first heard,
you resist it.
Yeah, like when I used to hear some things, I was so shocked.
I know
that look, this is how much I still don't know everything, but I'm just saying that watching black Republicans and white Republicans talk about Hispanic Republicans talk about our past.
Yeah. And
hearing that Republicans really were our allies more than the Democratic Party was. And I would have never known that had I not really read things and watched things and thought, oh, okay, well, I guess,
well, and even when you're having to look into these things, I knew I was no longer going to be a Democrat. That's just insanity.
Yeah.
I will not, no. But even that time where I'm thinking about what am I going to, like, I want to vote, of course, but I feel like I want to be an informed voter is a thing. And so I don't want to be a voter who just votes tradition as opposed to voting for, factual stuff that's going on. In order to change the way that I'm thinking or hear other points, I really did have to take it all the way back to the early 1900s. Of when, the whole political, I didn't even start with what's going now. I just started from the very beginning of, Democrat, Republican, when this all happened and how it all occurred, when did it switch over, and then I moved on and moved on and moved on. Here we are. So it's you do have to kind of just go back.
Yeah.
And then see where the mess up happened, or where the pandering started.
You can go all the way back to Africa because Africans sold us to white people.
Right.
They sold us to Muslims and they kept some for themselves.
They did.
You know what I mean?
So
if you want to talk about, sometimes when you talk about reparations, you have to go back further. Because had it not have been for a lot of that part of Africa, because white people, they couldn't even get, it was hard to get into that area as a white person, that part of Africa. So that means they had to have inside help. Which means Africans were helping them to do that. Yeah. So to me, I'm just thinking like, should we be asking for reparations from Africa?
I mean, if you're going to ask for it from
our country, from white people, then should we be going straight to the source?
Because we can track that back.
I mean, that's just my point in saying this. It's just when you think about most of the people, like Pearl Bailey, she was a Republican. A lot of those black entertainers from the 50s were all Republicans. You know what I mean? And it showed. I didn't realize that for the longest time because my mind was always we were always Democrats. And I don't know why I thought that, but just because that's all I ever hear. Well, so when I'm watching this guy, watching this reaction, I understand how he feels because our emotions are so built into the story.
And I don't even think he's not even a conservative. Like he's not even gone fully over there yet. He's just
listening and
hearing them out.
Information.
Yeah, he's just hearing them out, which is what we did. And so by hearing out the conservative party, if we're gonna put that much effort in hearing out the damn Democrats, we should probably listen to the Republican people too to see what they're saying. Like you have to wait this out. But even hearing what they're saying, like we're like, wow, they're making too much sense.
Like Mike, I don't care who you vote for. My point is, don't be an ignorant voter.
Right.
You know what I mean? I really think that before everybody votes, you should know some facts about things before you go and pull levers for people you have absolutely no idea why you're voting. what you're voting for. You could be voting against your own interest and not knowing it's too late.
Marlene.
But I'm glad you didn't.
I'm glad you didn't unsubscribe to us.
Even if you did unsubscribe.
Yeah.
Even if you got angry with us, unsubscribed, and then checked it out.
Okay, that's what we all.
Then
that's why we have these conversations.
Look, I don't want people to subscribe who don't want to be. You know what I mean? So I am subscribe people all the time that I'm not really into. You know what I mean? So I don't care about that. But it's just like don't just. It shouldn't trigger you that much. And if it does trigger you, anything really just triggers you. You really should check that out.
Well, people unsubscribe, they used to unsubscribe with a message.
Yeah.
I can't deal with you two anymore. You guys have gone too far off the rails. What did that one guy say? You guys are lost. What happened to you? What happened to you? What happened was that we decided to research.
Yeah. The instant you are black and you say something that is off script. Not only that, Chelsea Handler, when she was dating 50 Cent, she said, I had to remind him he was black and he can't vote for Trump. Who are you? What? He said, well, I'm not. He said, what did he say? He said, yeah. He said, she said, why are you voting? I asked him, why are you voting for Trump? He said, because I'm 50 Cent, I don't want to be 10 Cent.
Right. Okay, you guys. Marlene, thank you for not unsubscribing. Okay, more importantly, thanks for doing your own research. But anyways, let us know what you guys think about this whole political situation. Leave comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And that's it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next week. Bye.